So the remit is Africa and the diaspora, so artists who are based and living in the continent, but also ones who are living here of African origin. And the reason why I've chosen to focus on artists from the continent and its related diaspora is because on a global level, artists from of African origin are actually underrepresented, and that's why that's the focus for the platform, to give them more international exposure and recognition and support for their work. So in the meetings that I've had with the artists that I'm working with, as we're all sharing ideas and their artists are sharing their backgrounds and their stories, we're learning about each other's cultures and heritage, and I think that's been a really beautiful part of the process for me. So yes, I think that's definitely plays a role.
A few years ago, I was in Nigeria, really inspired by Adire symbols. Adire symbols were used by, I think, women in the 14th century of Yoruba land in Nigeria. And they basically used these symbols to communicate when they really didn't have a voice. So they used those symbols to communicate ideas, to communicate messages to women within the community. So the men didn't know about it. And it was a way for them to empower themselves and inspire themselves. I digitally painted onto their bodies. As much as I'm Nigerian, living in the UK, I'm also British. And that also informs my work. So my work's kind of a hybrid of being in England and also having lived in Nigeria. So it really informs what I do.
These images actually are images that, growing up, they were just around me. They were figures that, they were gods actually, which I grew up seeing. And these gods kind of represent all form of social characters and social issues. And as a black person coming from Africa, living in Europe, in the Western world, there's a lot of things that I'm not allowed to say. And even if I say it, I have to be very careful, because then I'm opening a Pandoran box. Everyone could come for me, because who are you to come in and tell me what to do, kind of thing. So these are issues that we talk about in private, and we're not allowed to express it in public. So the mouth being covered actually, is to say that, look, we exist. And that's why I chose these colors, striking colors, to say we exist, but we are there, but we're not actually giving the voice or giving the chance to voice our other issues, but we are present.